this movie is its marketing, or lack thereof, I should say, because this is probably the first time, or even the fewest of times, you're ever even hearing of its existence. Elio was better than I imagined and had me crying the entire time in the theaters. Seriously, I was only interested in seeing the visuals because 3D space movie sounds awesome, well, yeah, on weed. But the story left me both broken and mended my autistic heart. I really need to talk about this movie, and it needs more eyes on it. I don't care what the fucking box office says. Box office does not always accurately portray of how good or bad a movie is. I'm gonna dive into some spoilers for this review, so please do yourself a favor. Save this video, circle back later, and when you're done, please just wipe your face. You don't want tears on your keyboard, hon. From what I've observed from watching the movie at least 2 times in theaters, Elio's core themes would be an exploration of loneliness and a sense of belonging. We get to see this from Elio's perspective as a neurodivergent, likely autistic child who feels unwanted on Earth, and his tia Olga, a high-strung working woman in the military who put aside her dream of being an astronaut in order to be there for her nephew as his sole legal guardian. Not too different than in the good version of Lilo and Stitch, where Nani, we see in the background of her bedroom, she had all these surfing trophies, which implies she put on the back burner of being a surfer and like a surfing champion so she could care for her sister. Sacrifices have to be made in these situations. Elio lost his parents at a very young age. The movie doesn't care to explain what happened to them, just that it happened. They came down with a case of dead parent syndrome. It's more common than you like to think, leaving his tia Olga as his sole guardian. And she clearly has no experience when it comes to raising children, let alone an autistic one like Elio. Olga works on a military base, helping navigate ships to avoid space debris. Now, when Elio was younger, he learned about the Voyager message that was sent out into space to find other life forms. Since then, he's been dedicated to reaching out and contacting said aliens, skipping school, making maps, and using ham radios to further signal boost, but with no luck. Elio's fight on the beach nearly cost Olga her job, which just adds more stress onto her and her inability to understand him. Olga is so exhausted from Elio's antics that she thinks of sending him off to a boarding school would be the best choice, which in turn, of course, makes Elio feel even more unwanted and pushes his drive to make contact with aliens to abduct him. And might I just say, this hyperfixation on aliens and sci-fi stuff in general doesn't come from the typical autistic allegory of liking sci-fi stuff because he's autistic and therefore has savant levels of intelligence, or alien equals autism, so therefore alien autism. No, I hate that shit so fucking much. I really like that the movie shows how Elio became interested in aliens instead of just presenting it off the bat that this is his special interest and therefore his only defining character trait. I hate when media wants to establish an autistic character, or even an unintentionally autistic coded character as autistic, by just making them socially awkward or into engineering to be their only character trait and therefore useful to the plot only that way. Elio is more than just his hyperfixation. He's sensitive, he's adventurous, selfish, introverted, narrow-minded, creative, stubborn, shredded. He feels like an actual person first. And those autistic traits also do shine in other moments. When the bullies were confronting him on the beach and saying that they were gonna get payback, and Elio told them that he didn't have any change. That, oh my gosh, kiddo, he's, even the very moments of your demise, so adorable, so autistic. That's honestly some shit I would say as a kid. Or when we first meet Elio in the movie, he's sitting curled up under the table, pulling at his shoes. He's constantly fidgeting with his hands when he's nervous or scared. I love it. That's him stimming. That's how he's coping. That's how he copes with his stress in stressful situations. And while you feel for Elio's struggle of wanting to belong, you also can sympathize with his tia Olga's struggle of raising him. When the clip of his aunt reading a book on how to parent gifted kids was going around literally the week before this movie was gonna come out, again, piss poor marketing, I hate it. Like, Disney has been really screwing over Pixar movies since like 2020 with like Luca, Turning Red, Onward. Like, what the fuck? I think they're just low-key jealous because they just keep putting out live action shit and not anything original. Oh, who said that? Me, the nigga in the back. But yeah, on the book cover, a lot of people were upset about it because the cover had a child frolicking in fire, signaling that neurodivergent kids are special, but also chaotic hazards of demonhood. I would agree with that frustration, but in the context of the scene itself, Elio's aunt is clearly trying to find answers on how to best support him, but that book, toppled with her own frustration and stress from work, isn't getting her anywhere, because there is no proper guidebook on how to care for an autistic child, and most weren't made in mind to normalize the child more than to accommodate them. Granted, you can find some actual books made by actual autistic people on how to raise an actually autistic child, but the best thing you can do is just be there for the child. Just like how there's no strict guidebook on how to parent. You just gotta do that shit. You gotta fail, you gotta learn, you gotta pick yourself back up when you fail. And be okay with that. Hey, Bluey moment. Parents, you're doing great. And the fact that Olga works for the military, a place that expects uniformity, and individuality is forced to be suppressed for the greater mission. I mean, guys, the commentary just writes itself. It's golden. Olga wanted to be an astronaut. She aspired for higher and greater things in her life, as one should. Get your bag, baby girl. But because of the loss of her brother and sister-in-law, she's unfortunately stuck on the ground to care for Elio. Having a major loss in the family will affect and ripple in everyone's life. And while it's not the life she wanted for herself, sending Elio to a military camp made Olga realize that that wasn't the solution either. Now, at this point in the movie, as the audience, of course, we know that the Elio with Olga is a clone sent in his place and told to behave normal while the real Elio is exploring the communiverse. We share in Elio's heartbreak when he sees how much Olga is loving the normal Elio, but despite only being at the camp for one night. Olga knew that that was not her nephew. Because despite how much of a headache Elio was, Olga knows this kid. Olga knows what this kid likes. Olga's aware of what her nephew enjoys and shit, okay?
That's not my baby!
My favorite scene in the movie was Olga on the beach, desperately trying to make contact with aliens to return Elio. She's never felt more alone without him. That crushing loneliness Elio felt at the beginning of the movie. And over the course of the movie, Olga's tight bun becomes more loose and side strands hanging out, and oh my gosh, again, that's the little details that I appreciate most in media, that infers of how much of a character's journey, like that visual storytelling. Yes, treat me like I'm smart. Let me infer. Let me grasp from the visual storytelling. Treat me like an individual with a brain cell. Elio and Olga are meant to parallel Lord Grygon and his son, Glorden. Because check it out, they are guardians with high demanding jobs and positions of authority that unfortunately often leaves the autistic children under their care to be alone and feeling unwanted. They both exhibit frustration from not being able to understand and fully connect with their child, but also wanting the best for them. Glorden is the first friend Elio makes, and what a treat this little worm guy is. Where Elio's more so on the introverted spectrum of autism, Glorden is far more extroverted. And for as much as I don't like aliens being coded as autistic, in the context of the movie, I can accept that Glorden could and would be deemed as autistic or just neurodivergent, considering the typical behaviors of his species, the Hyglorgans. Oh, I love talking about sci-fi media and how they have such weird names. You ever just notice how in sci-fi they just put G's and Z's and X's everywhere just to make it sound more alien? Like, dog, I'm not even tripping. His name is Glorden. Glorden? Nigga, that's just Jordan. You're just Gordon. His planet and people are known for being boastful, violent, and enjoying the screams of others. That's not Glorden. Glorden is a soft, warm baby boy. He just wants to play and have fun until ultimately forced to follow tradition and get into his weaponized shell. Glorden is definitely the black sheep of his species, and such othering can leave a child feeling lonely. Glorden feels that his father, Lord Grygon, doesn't care about him because he doesn't want to participate in the tradition. But as we see in the final act of the movie, where Glorden was on the brink of freezing to death, Lord Grygon rips out of his robotic shell to save his son. And it's this slide that he said to Glorden that just left me a fucking mess in the theaters. Oh my gosh. Because he said, "I may not always understand you, but I will always love you." Nigga, get this gay shit out of here. Emotions, what is this? understanding and reconciliation? Huh? It's kind of like that scene in the Owl House where Luce just wanted to be fucking understood, and it's her mom who ultimately understood her most. Like, that was nice and all, but it feels even more realistic when it's like, man, I don't understand you all the time, but I still love you. I'm fine. Man, I just love this movie so much, you know? I just want people to give it a chance. Elio deciding to return home was another emotional gut punch for me, because after the people of Earth helped guide them through the debris field, Elio wants to give Earth a chance now. Which I am so glad he became friends with that black kid who we saw at the beginning of the movie with the ham radios, and it was still connected with Glorden. Like, oh, good ending, great movie. I've seen it twice in theaters so far. I am financially supporting this film. It's original, it's beautiful, it's a solid 7 out of 10 for me. I am still crying about it. I will still cry about it. And I will still also keep crying about it until when it eventually comes to Disney Plus. And then everyone starts to watch it because now it's free and accessible. And then start bitching about how, oh, well, this was a good movie. How come no one talked about it? Time is a flat circle. Let's see here. Other things I wanted to note from the movie that I just could not fit in this kind of structure of my organized rambling. I fucking love the designs of the aliens in this movie. I am so tired of seeing like aliens in media and they're just humans with a third eye or green skin or pointy ears. That's not an alien, honey. That is a fucking elf. I love Ambassador Questa's design most. Like, oh my god, the way she moves is kind of like a manta ray, but also she's flattened like a slug. Oh my gosh, and her pupils look like little plus signs, and her eyes, her design is so fucking good. I love it so much. She's my favorite. She's so pretty. I love her shade of pink. She's so pretty. All the aliens look really unique and just stand out on their own as their like own species, because like I have not seen a set of unique alien designs like this since like watching an online indie series called The Earth Guy, which by the way is also really good and y'all should really support it. It's like literally made by one person. You can't get any more indie than literally a one person team. Let's fucking go. I love that. Is this liquid supercomputer that can just make universal translator discs for everyone and so that they can communicate with each other and can accommodate their needs. That's just so awesome to me, because Hyglorgians, they come from like a planet of lava and they have to be like immersed in extreme heat, right? And even their ships are well heated and insulated. Glorden being outside for the first time, we see that makes him very susceptible to the cold. And I love how the discs can alter one's surrounding temperature and gravity so they can just roam free and comfortably of how they want. Now that's the level of accommodations an autismo babismo like myself could only dream of for all disabled people one day. As much as I want to keep glazing this movie, something about it just felt missing. Because from the shared concept art, Elio was actually meant to have a much longer hair and darker skin. But unfortunately, the team were told to make him appear more masculine. Hated here, projecting toxic masculinity onto children is how we get more fatherless behavior, ironically.
Knitter! No, I'm not a knitter!
Also, with how often Elio laid out on the beach seeking these aliens, you're gonna sit here with a straight face and tell me that this kid is still light-skinned?
Bull crap.
I'm naturally about a shade or two darker than Elio is, but I'm still light-skinned. I'm still considered light-skinned. And even I've grown a few shades darker in the past 2 months. Like, what the hell? Like, what the actual hell? Give this Mexican Dominican kid some fucking melanin. I know he was wearing sunscreen on the beach. Sunscreen protects you from the sun. It doesn't prevent you from getting browner. I say Mexican Dominican because that's what Google told me, and when seeing the movie, I was geeking out because I noticed that they had a ofrenda for Elio's parents. I was so happy. It went by very quickly, but I'm afraid his Latino roots were also neutered in the making of this film because this whole wave of anti-woke DEI nonsense is going on right now. Because God forbid someone who's not white exists. One last thing to note, because I thought it was really neat, and I'm a nerd about these kind of things. Elio Solis, that's the kid's name, right? Literally translates into sun. Elio wants to be surrounded by alien friends in space, right? Now, stick with me, hang with me here with this. I'm kind of cooking here. The sun is the center of the solar system, right? Surrounded by our neighboring planets and needed by those planets to stay in orbit and therefore benefit from the sun, like what the sun provides for them for their planets, if the Earth would be a frozen wasteland without the sun. Elio has this warmth to him that he wishes to provide to others, or he wishes that he can have for others. He just wants to be wanted, and at the end of the day, don't we all? Elio, the movie, not the character, does a beautiful job of portraying the struggles of a neurodivergent child and their guardians without making one be the villain to the other. Raising autistic children is challenging, but at the end of the day, it's also rewarding to see them grow and flourish into their own. And any loving and caring parent or guardian trying their best wouldn't want their child to run away or send them off, you know? And they're also doing their best so long as they're communicating with their child. Unlike the recent neurotypical propaganda films with the autism speak stamp of approval on it, those films will have you believe that it's either terrible to raise an autistic child, or that the parents are the true victims for bearing with these unconventional children. But Elio, whether it was done on purpose or not, did a wonderful job of just showcasing children on the spectrum and the reality that comes with it. The most important thing I wish for everyone to take away from this: go watch Elio, go watch Elio, go watch Elio. And if you did see it, please let me know what you thought about it in the comment. And if you felt it wasn't for you, or if you even didn't like it, I also want to know, what are your thoughts on the movie? In general, let's have a discussion about the movie down below, you guys. I understand that the marketing severely screwed the pooch on this movie, but it is by far the least worst Pixar movie out there, especially since Cars 2 still exists. It is, for now, my favorite Pixar movie, right up there with Coco. The Latinos are winning. Let's go, Latinos! Now, if only we can get better black movies from Pixar. Oh, a girl can dream. Just know, my little special little sunflowers out there, you are not alone. Someone out there relates to you. You relate to someone, or even if you relate to how I just be yapping, if that's enough to make you feel not alone in this world, then I'm happy for you. And that's all I just wanted to say about it. Please go watch Elio. Okay, I love you. Bye.